Alrighty, so in this demo, we're going to talk about mark making. Now, this is one of the things I feel like I see students struggle with the most when it comes to like just being new to clay and like, I don't know, being creative and things like that. So this first project and this first thing that we're going to be doing is just exploring mark making. Like, what does that mean? How can I do it? What kind of things can I use? All that stuff, okay? As far as making marks goes, you are only limited to the things that you're okay with maybe getting a little clay on. I wouldn't use like electronics or things where like the clay dust is going to hurt them. And a big place where you can find some really cool things to make marks is in the kitchen. Now, remember, this clay is in like the plastic stage, but you can also use different objects to make marks in clay, even up until like the very soft leather hard stage. So, but this is about the time that we're going to be able to do this. Now, carving right now is a little tricky, and you can see when I carve my name here, it's maybe not as crystal clear as it could be. And if you wait until the clay is just a little bit drier, it'll happen much, much cleaner. Okay, so carving happens really, really happily in the soft to the normal leather hard stage, but we are going to experiment with mark making while our clay is a little bit soft. Now, mine's been sitting out for maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So it's been air drying a little and it's a little bit more, you know, more rigid than it was when I first made my pinch pot. But for you guys, yours might be a little bit firmer too because you might be doing this on a different day or something. So hopefully you've had it in a bag up until this point. You always want to bag it up and tuck the bag in or something, wrap it under. You want to try and squeeze out as much air as you can to keep it from drying out past the point that you want it to dry out. So when it comes to mark making, like I was saying, in the kitchen, you're going to find some really cool stuff that you can use. So if you see this little item here, this is just a Cheerio. I've got a noodle and I have another noodle. This is a piece of spaghetti. I've got a marker and a pencil. So I'm going to go ahead and just decorate my pinch pot. And I want you to do the same thing, but I want you to think about the design and, whenever you're using marks to make some sort of texture or anything, you always want to think about maybe a pattern or how you want to lay it out or something like that. But, like I said, you don't have to have the same items as me. It's really just about what you want to make. Now, the other cool thing is you can take some extra clay. I'm just going to slice off a little piece here and set this out as a space to test out some of my mark making items, right? So for example, before I go and press into my cup, I've got a little mini slab here that I'm just going to use to see what happens when I press this into here. It makes a pretty cool texture actually. And I'm not pressing extremely hard, just kind of experimenting, and it comes out pretty easily. If you guys can see that there. There it is. It's kind of cool. It's got like a rocky texture to it. I can take my pencil or my noodle and I can experiment with little stipple marks. Okay, something like that. Let's see if I can get this to focus for you guys. There it is. I can press it long ways. So maybe I want to press it in and make like little stripey textures. Right? Something like that's cool. I can take my marker and I can use the bottom of this as like a circle, or I can use the top to create little hollow circles, right? And same thing with my noodle. I can use the side of this. It's sort of got a ridge texture to it, so that's cool. Or I can use the side of that, which gives us sort of an organic oval type shape. So I've done my practicing here, and I've kind of thought through like, okay, here's what I've got, and here's what I want to do. And now you're just going to decide on how you want to make the marks and how you want to do this. Now for me, I like to kind of, like I said, create pattern. So I'm going to start by working with, and I'm not going to go all the way around, but I just want to show you guys, like if you're thinking about your project and different mark making, like what you could do. You know, I could continue that all the way around. It makes like a really nice uniform. And with carving, it's always nice to kind of just press into the clay rather than try to pull the clay, because then you're just making a mess. Okay, so maybe I have that, and then maybe I do something where, and you can see I'm supporting from the back. Okay, if you press on this and you don't have anything back there, it's going to start squishing the whole piece. Okay, so I'm pressing in, and I'm having fun here. Okay, making some patterns. Look at that. And maybe I want to do these ones here, kind of overlap. Okay, now I'm working in a pattern where I'm kind of working like I'm going to do this all the way around, and then this all the way around, and then this. And, you know, it just depends on how you want it to look. Like, you don't have to, you can organize your patterns in a more organic sense. You can also, like I'm doing now, go back into a pattern and fill it in somehow, you know, so you don't have to just leave it one thing after another. You can double up on it and have some fun. Okay, so this project is really just about exploring texture and what that means. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. Okay, same thing here. Like, okay, I have these lines, but maybe I want to like do something different where I have like little dots in between each one or something. Okay, so you have your fun. Decide on a few items, at least 3 different items that you want to do to make this mark making project, but it should be on your nice final pinch pot. Okay, so this was my practice, but I've made so many pinch pots that, you know, this is what you're getting from me. I end up with pretty good stuff if I make something because I've just done it so many times. But if you had to make another pinch pot, don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, and you could practice on that one or practice on a little slab like I did. This is a great way to figure out what kind of marks you'll get before you push it into your project. Okay, doke. So ultimately what I'm looking for is just good craftsmanship. I want to see some nice, you know, textures and things, and that you thought about it and you did it artistically, and your initials and your class period on the bottom. Okay, doke. Have fun, guys.